Everybody, it's almost my day. You know what? I'm always early at parties anyway, and it's kind of my thing. I always show up early. I eat all the dessert, drink all the booze, and whoever shows up on time or late, that's their problem. So we're gonna start off our St. Patrick's Day celebration with a story about St. Patrick, and then we're gonna kick it off and celebrate as best as we know how with some dances from Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. So let's start off with telling you a little story about St. Patrick. When he was a little boy, something terrible happened to him. He was kidnapped by pirates, and then he was sold off to slavery. So he did not have a good youth. He didn't like being a slave very much. You can imagine why. He was forced into being a cattle herder. And so while he was growing up living this way, he heard about something that was pretty new back then, and it was going around, and he really liked it. This thing was called Christianity. He fell in love with one concept of Christianity more than anything else. It was that all men were created equal. There was no master-slave relationship that he had been forced into. So he fell in love with this concept, with the religion, and he learned all that he could about it. He eventually started to teach it. He was so good at teaching Christianity that the Pope took notice and called on Patrick, he wasn't a saint yet, called on Patrick for a meeting and said, "Patrick, I'd like to make you a bishop, and I'd like to send you to Ireland to convert those pagan Irish to Christianity." And Patrick knew good and well before he answered what happened to the other bishops that went to Ireland. Let's just say it didn't end up so well for them. But Patrick said yes, he just had one request. He wanted to stop by his homeland before setting sail to Ireland. So there's a lot of confusion about where St. Patrick was born. A lot of people think St. Patrick was born wherever they were born. And it makes sense because back then his life wasn't very well recorded. So a lot of it is blarney, some of it is actual historic fact, but it's all very confusing. So it turns out the best guess is he was born where Wales is now. So if you're born in Wales, then you were born where Patrick was born. Any Welsh here? No? Okay. So Patrick got his wish. He got to go to Wales before he went to Ireland. And being that he was Welsh, he understood the Irish. He understood they had similar ways of living. So it was very natural for him to teach Christianity to the pagans. So he stopped by Wales, and before he leaves, he reaches down and grabs a patch of clover to take with him to Ireland. So he sets sail to Ireland. When he gets there, he uses the clover to help teach the pagans. So the clover has 3 leaves, right? So he used those 3 leaves to help teach the Holy Trinity. The one leaf represents the Father, the other leaf represents the Son, and the third leaf represents the Holy Ghost. But all 3 leaves are connected to one stem, representing one God. And this resonated so well with the pagan Irish that they fell in love with Christianity, and it spread like wildfire all across the country, making Ireland one of the most Christian nations in the world. In fact, when we used to be able to make collect calls, if you were to make a collect call to heaven from Ireland, it would only cost a dime. It was a local call. Okay, so that's enough about Patrick right now. Let's start with some dancing. Our first dance is a reel. And a reel, it's not only the dance that we're doing, it's also a step in the dance, where you take one foot and you reel it behind the other, just like this. And this dance is called the 2-hand reel. And a hand in this dance doesn't have anything to do with what's attached to your wrist. Think about a work hand or a farm hand. So a hand is in reference to a person. So if you have a 2-hand reel, how many dancers do you get?
2.
That's a good guess. I'm really bad at math. We added, subtracted, multiplied, and we got more than 2 dancers today. So it's the 2-hand reel done by, 4 dancers. So consider it a discount. Here we go with the 2-hand reel.